I played a game. Now, I'm gonna try to review it in under 2 minutes without looking at a timer. Let's go. Potential minor spoilers ahead. Okay, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is the Switch 1 edition, but I have also played the Switch 2 edition. I'll probably kind of mix the two of them together during this. General premise of this game is that we return to the world of Hyrule, but there are a bunch of brand new mechanics for us to use, as well as some new areas for us to explore. Moving on to my thoughts about the game. Overall, I'll say when I first started playing this, I thought this is Breath of the Wild DLC. It didn't really feel like anything special, and I know other people had that thought. But as I kept playing the game, and as I started to master the new mechanics and the new gameplay features of this, and I started to explore some of the new areas that were present in this game, I started to recognize this isn't DLC for Breath of the Wild. This truly is a sequel to it. Yeah, it's in the same world. That's how sequels work. But it really does build upon the first game in some really meaningful and some transformative ways that it's just not fair to call it DLC, even though I know some people do. I think it's way more than that, and it improves on it for the most part. The story is the only thing I would say that I'm kind of torn on. I think the story in Breath of the Wild was a little bit simpler than that in Tears of the Kingdom. And for the most part, I actually like a Zelda game that has some good, detailed, in-the-weeds lore. But for a game that's so focused on open world exploration, kind of choose your own adventure, I actually thought the slightly simpler story in Breath of the Wild made more sense than the slightly more complex story in Tears of the Kingdom. So that's really kind of the only thing I could knock it for. As I said, everything else I think is an improvement upon Breath of the Wild. And quite honestly, I don't know if I could go back to Breath of the Wild after playing this game. I think it's just such a step up. Going back would feel kind of weird at this point. So, giving this a rating, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 Koroks because it's a really good game and Koroks are cute. A little bit over 2 minutes, not too bad though. We'll do better next time.